Good morning, everyone. It is sun is trying to peek out. Yeah, it's a warmer day. It's 24 this morning. 24. And I'm just checking the news, and I've got yesterday's mail that I'm going through. Cleaned off my screens. Love this little thing. Love it, love it, love it. It was my present from my mother-in-law. I think it's called Funky Fingers. Pretty sure that's what it's called. They come in different colors, so you use this side for screens, this side for keyboards. I just love it, so I keep it in my drawer. Clean that stuff off every morning. So I have the Restaurant Depot circular I need to go through to see if there's anything that that might be a good deal to go in on with my family, my sister and my parents who are coming back tomorrow from their extended stay in Florida. They've been there since, well, I think it's going to be 3 months, December 9th? Yeah. And then I have some magazines, some catalogs to, once I go through them, I throw them in the recycler. Pet peeve, don't like them around the house. My husband loves to look at those, particularly in the bathroom, you know, boys. And no matter how well I prepare a space for him to leave them organized, they always end up on the floor. And I walk in without the lights on and then slip on them, so I just, newspapers, magazines, catalogs, I look and toss. Look and recycle. So that's what I have to do this morning. My printer did arrive. I have not busted the box open. My finger was really achy last night. That tiny little cut affected me because I still had to do dishes, and I made jambalaya, which the jambalaya went over fabulously. Paulie loved it. He eats his with a sprinkling of malt vinegar. I had mine with a squeeze of lime juice, which I really enjoyed, so I'm probably going to be having some for lunch. And I was thinking I could probably pack up a couple of portions to put in the freezer in some of those little plastic containers from Chinese food that I've been washing and saving, the black ones with a airtight seal, and just label it, and then we can have jambalaya on the fly, because, and it made far more than I had anticipated, and it's not the kind of food that I make on a regular basis. It's just starchy and all that. Not exactly good for you, but it is quite delicious. So today is Ash Wednesday. I'm Jewish, so it has no impact on me, but I know lots of people are, partaking in, is it the palm ashes? I'm not entirely sure. So I can't speak on something that I don't know anything about. I know that Paulie asked his mom something. They were talking about Ash Wednesday last night on the phone. I just kind of zoned out, so I didn't really didn't hear all the details. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jewish and Paulie is Lutheran. So we're a hybrid family, and successfully hybrid family for last 17 years. It's one thing, ironically, the one thing that I think most people assume we would have the biggest disagreements about is the fact that we have two different religions in this household. That's the one thing we have never, ever argued about. Never. Money's number one. Timeliness is number two. Respect. Those kind of things. We have had, not always seen eye to eye. But religion has never been an issue. I think that's such a personal thing that everybody should be absolutely allowed to pursue what appeals to them, what drives them, what beliefs they have. My husband grew up Lutheran. That's who he is. I grew up agnostic because of the lack of... There's really not a big, or there wasn't a very big religious movement in former Soviet Union, or Ukraine, where I grew up. As a matter of fact, I didn't know we were Jewish until I saw my grandfather's passport when we were leaving, because on our passports it had not only your name, place of birth, and your ethnicity, it also had your religion on it. Bizarre. Not entirely appropriate, I think, because it's not anybody's business to know that. But, you know, you're talking about Soviet Union. Anyway, so I just totally went off on a tangent. But yeah, we had really lovely meal last night. I ate before Polly came home. When he came home, I warmed up. Actually, I don't think I even warmed it up because the pot was the cast iron Le Creuset pot that I used. Just kept the heat nicely, and it was, kind of a higher room temperature. Not quite room temperature. It was much warmer, and he enjoyed it. He practically licked the bowl. He didn't even want to give it to the dogs to lick. So that went over very well. Really surprisingly tasty for a box mix. Just telling you outright. So I would give 2 thumbs up to the Zatarain's Jambalaya mix. Now again, I'm not from New Orleans. I'm not from Louisiana. It's not a staple of ours, but we absolutely enjoyed it. So whatever the faux jambalaya that I ended up creating, and actually the one thing that he noted was really nice addition was the corn. That little pop of sweetness was really nice amongst. I did make it a little spicier because I added more of the Creole seasoning when I was cooking the chicken and the sausage. So it has a nice back heat. It's not something that overpowers your palate, but it's a nice warming back heat. And a little pop of corn was nice and sweet. So it was a nice combination. And he ate, like I said, ate his with a little splash of vinegar. I liked mine with a squeeze of lime, which I also found quite tasty. The little acidity cut through all that richness and the starchy, excuse me, the rice. The rice was perfectly cooked, just spot on. I turned it off just when at the right time. I know it looked a little watery, but when it sat for like 5 minutes, all of that tightened up, and it's not like it's a brick, but the thickness went to the place where it should be. So anyway, Sue asked a question. What does my husband do that he requires a uniform? He's a UPS driver. So our house is filled with brown uniforms and socks and vests and you name it. And he only wears shorts. For those of you who may or may not have seen him, I know he's been in videos before. I just can't remember. Oh, I think the most recent one he was in was when we went to Costco. So a week ago? Yeah, a week ago on a weekend. Saturday or so, probably the one that was posted on last Sunday. Last Sunday in February. We went to Costco and we stopped in front of the field where I had all the geese. And you catch a little glimpse of him there. He's been in other videos. I mean, it's not that he's shy, but ordinarily when I'm videotaping, it's usually when he's not here. Because I work from home and he's on the road all day. So it's typically the weekend vlogs that have him in it. Anyway, so I'm going to go through the circular, see if there's anything there that my sister and my mom, our 3 households, could split. Like, sometimes they have really, really good deals on shrimp. Now, we don't have, I don't run a restaurant. My business is party planning, but I don't make the food. I probably could have, or could if I really apply myself, but honestly, I don't make the food. I make the invitations, decorations, all that stuff. But that's why I have access to the Restaurant Depot. So I'm going to look through and see if there's anything that strikes my fancy. The 2 things that I ordinarily get at Restaurant Depot, which in comparison to grocery store prices that are incredibly more affordable, is creme fraiche and their pita breads. The packs are enough where, like, the creme fraiche is in a reasonable size container, and it is like less than 50% of what you find in the grocery store. And if there is one in the circle, I'll share that with you. So I'm going to go through that, enjoy the rest of my coffee, go see the girls. Oh yeah, I have to go visit the girls, check to see what my calendar looks like for our meetings today. and prep my printer because it did arrive yesterday, and that's where I got derailed. I didn't even open the box because my finger actually took a while for it to stop bleeding, and it's still a little sore, and I got some lime juice in it, so maybe that cauterized it, I don't know. But it's much better this morning, so I'm going to open up the box, get my printer out so I can put this broken one in there because I have to ship it back. They have to disperse it to however the process goes. All right, so I'll be back in a few. I don't know, you're getting a lot of, you're getting my, my schedule for the day, what I'm planning on doing. If I do come across anything interesting in the Restaurant Depot circular, I'll show that to you next. Otherwise, whatever else comes up. See you in a few. Okay, so as you can see, the containers of items at Restaurant Depot are meant for restaurants, caterers, that kind of thing. So for most of these items, no individual household, unless you're the Duggars, really needs this much volume. But like, take a look, 14-ounce package, one of these containers of pickling spice, it's only $3.75. So if you're putting up, like, let's say you're making bread and butter pickles, you want some pickling spice, or if you're making, well, I guess if you're making something for like a non-profit, we often shop there for when we volunteer, make dinners, and with St. Patrick's Day, corned beef, you need pickling spice, so that would be pretty good. Dillweed for 24 ounces, $10.25. That's really good. Parsley flakes, 12 ounce, $6.25. I don't need parsley flakes because I have them from the garden. But the other thing that I couldn't think of what else I pick up besides the fabulous creme fraiche is ricotta. 3 pounds of ricotta is $3.39. Look at mozzarella cheese balls. That's too much. We would never use that. But that gives you an idea. And look, hamachi fillets, $7.95 a pound if you buy the case. Now, if you buy less than a case, if they have packages, then it's a little more. Okay, wet sea scallops, 10 count, $8.99 a pound, and it's an 8-pound tub. So there you go. That gives you an idea. And this is also where I get my half sheet pan and quarter sheet pan that I use for everything in the oven, baking, roasting. Stainless tongs, 99 cents. I could use some of those actually. Look at these cool work tables. If I had a bigger kitchen, I would absolutely have a freestanding island that's stainless steel. A 30 by 72 is $140. Really? Do you know how much a contractor would charge you for a stainless steel table? Yep. Craft room idea? Possibly. So, yep. And these are St. Patrick's Day and Lent deals. Let's see. Lots of fish. So, not too much. I mean, I don't even know if we need to go there. Unless I'm going to be making lasagna, and that's why I would, get the ricotta. Although, I do add ricotta to all sorts of other things, like mashed potatoes. Instead of milk, butter, or cream, I add a couple spoonfuls of ricotta, and it's tasty. Oh, and hummus is also really good deals. So, there you go. Alright, the other catalog I have is from Waback Sewing. Waback.com. And they have the Hug Snug Seam Binding 10% off for the month of March. Not too bad. If you need, how many yards is it? I think it's 100 yards per roll. So if you need a bulk supply, or if you want to pick up some white and cream, they have a lot of colors. Let's see, page 85. There are all the colors they have. Black, white, winter white, natural, camel, light pink, eggshell, blue white, light blue, medium blue, royal blue, navy, deep navy, purple. There you go. So they're $7.19 or $7.65, and if you buy 3 or more, it's $7.29. 5 or more, $7.19. So it's 1/2 inch by 100 yards seam binding. Pretty good deal. If you need that much bulk, like if you need for a lot, you know, a significant amount for a project. Before I forget, one more time, right now, craftsy.com, CRAFTSY, has some free sewing machine basic classes. I have a sewing machine. My husband gave me one when we first got married. Wow. Yeah, that's how old it is. And I might have used it, I don't know, 5-10 times. Initially when I got it, I was all gung-ho. I thought, oh, perfect. I have an opportunity to make my own clothes. I actually made the velvet velour top for my, that I wore to my sister's wedding. I mean, that's how enthusiastic I was. And that totally waned, and I haven't used it pretty much since. My sister just recently borrowed it because she wanted to make some curtains for her mudroom, and the sewing machine is still in my car. So I thought, oh, when I saw this opportunity, it was actually an email, I think, from joanns.com that they're offering this free Craftsy sewing machine basics, kind of like how to care for your sewing machine, what kind of, obviously for experts this would not be of any interest, but since I am a complete novice when it comes to sewing, I thought I'm just gonna take advantage of this. So I'll include a link below, obviously. Hopefully, for those of you who watch my videos from start to finish, and if I mention something that I'm going to include in the about section or the description below, like links to somewhere and that I don't provide, please remind me, because I often edit late at night after a full day, and I do try to watch my entire edited video, but sometimes I forget. You know, it's easy to kind of overlook something, so I'll try to remember to post a link, but if not, it's craftsy.com, and it's free. And what it includes is 4 video lessons, detailed instructions. You can watch them at any time. You just sign up. It's free to sign up for the site. Just be aware, once you sign up for the free class, you will get periodic emails about other paid classes that are at a cost that are available through Craftsy, but periodically they do offer free ones, and the one that's available now is this sewing basics. So I am going to take advantage of this and hopefully watch them tonight, maybe while I'm in the bath. See, I bring my Kindle with me everywhere, and maybe I can watch a couple of videos. I think there's 4 videos, and I think they're between 8 and like 15 minutes. So there you go. Now I remembered, and I can move on to my next task. Farina just asked a question on YouTube, and it's about the printer, or the excuse me, P-Touch labeler. In order to save on the rather expensive cartridges, if you have the the cartridge type, and which is what this, and both of my P-Touch labelers are. If you have multiple labels to print, and there is a maximum number of characters that you could do this for, and this only works if you have 1 row of text. If you have 1 row of text, in other words, you're not trying to do what I did here, like mowed lawn, salty ocean, like if you have it like this. All you have to do is continuously type and just put a space or 2 in between where the individual labels. That way you don't have that lead and tail chunks of the tape. They get used up. So you essentially will only get 1 lead piece of tape, that whatever it is, 3/4 inch, which I think is a huge waste. They really need to rethink that. And you'll be able to just cut apart in between your individual labels. Now, if you're going to do the 2 words or 2 rows like this, you can't do that. You can't space and then continue typing. It only works for 1 row of text. So a singular row of text, you can put a couple space or 2 in between, and that saves you on the label lead and tail length. I'm not sure whether newer P-Touch, Brother P-Touch labelers have an option like that when you have more than one row of text, but I have found that only one single row of text works that way. So that's a good way to save. I hope that helps out. If you want to see an example, please let me know. If you want to know more about the P-Touch, kind of how I use it. I think someone did ask, and I will share, like leftovers that I pack up in the freezer, particularly when it's hard to tell what something is. When I break down a bulk package of proteins, I always use a P-Touch, and they have extra strength P-Touch, which is really helpful because they they withstand that whole temperature changes and retain the stickiness to whatever surface you put them on. So if I pack up the jambalaya today, I will add the jambalaya labels and show you that. But I think I'm going to be baking during lunch. I have a little cleanup to do in the kitchen, and I have a couple of bananas, and I found a banana bread recipe that I want to try. A variation, I'll probably add orange zest because I like the flavor of orange zest in my banana bread, and maybe a little chocolate chips. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that might be next. So I think I mentioned that I received my new printer, and then I also received a box of cables. So this is the box of cables that I just opened. It's pretty, it's a big size box. Actually, let me measure it just for ha-has because I did have to, or I had a reaction to it. I have an opinion on it. So it's a 10 by 8 by 4.5 box. It's a significant size box with some bubble cushion in it. This is all that box had inside. This tiny little USB cable. That is ridiculous. This could have easily have been put in a padded envelope, shipped for like 95 cents instead of $7 to $8, which I'm sure this box probably ended up costing because it came UPS. What a waste. And I took a picture of it and sent my personal opinion of how large the shipping box is for this tiny little cable to our procurement department because what a waste of money. I understand it's not costing me anything directly, but if they're spending money on shipping one tiny little cable, that means lower merits, lower money to go around for bonuses. So why? Why was this necessary? Sometimes I get the feeling that people don't think before they pack. Like, literally, this is how the box arrived when I opened it. The cable was inside, and this is the way the air cushions were. Air fill cushions. They did absolutely nothing to it. Plus, it's not a fragile item. It would have been perfectly fine delivered in a padded envelope. So, yeah. I wish more companies would take closer look. I know Amazon sometimes is guilty of that. We'll take closer look at how things, if it's really utilizing the shipping effectively. Now, my husband works for a shipping company. He works for UPS. So it's not like I'm trying to turn business away, but logic really should be applied. This was absurd. This was a waste of money, waste of shipping box. I'll recycle the box or upcycle the box as much as I can. I think I have a package going out. This will be perfect size for that package. However, most people would just throw it in their recycler. Some even throw it in their garbage, which is even worse. So there's my mini 2.5-minute rant for the day. I hope that's it. All right, off to connect my printer. Okay, so here's an example of how to save some of the tape space. This lead piece, see there's a little semicolon from the end to the beginning of the letter. It's about an 1 inch and 1/8. So there's a considerable amount of space that would get pushed out of the tape each and every time you create a new label. So because I needed 2 labels and it was within the maximum number of characters in one row, and because I was only printing 1 row's text instead of 2 rows, I was able to put just a space in between the date and the next jambalaya. So now I'm going to just cut it apart with, trim it here with my scissors and put it on the containers that are going in the freezer of the leftover jambalaya, because I think we're having oatmeal tonight with fresh fruit. And there's my jambalaya leftovers, all labeled, ready to go in the freezer. This way we don't get bored, and I cook it once, we enjoy it twice, and on a day where I don't feel like cooking, all I have to do is thaw it out and then warm it up, and we have a jambalaya dinner for each one of us with a side salad. Or we could split one and have a bigger salad, because it's a very hearty portion. That's like probably 2 cups, double the portion instead of 1 cup. Yeah, and if you look at actual portion sizes, they're pretty pitiful. Sorry, it's true. So I think I'm gonna make a banana bread. Afternoon snack of the orange carrot juice. So tasty and way better for you than coffee, although I enjoy coffee. Coffee doesn't enjoy me afternoon, so I have coffee first thing in the morning, and I totally had a full glass of this. And it was so nice. Well, it's nice and cold because it's been sitting in the mudroom. We don't need to. I mean, the mudroom is colder than our refrigerator, so it's just crisp, refreshing, and got me going. So I brought some stuff down to the basement from the kitchen. Both of the 6-quart crock pots, and next, because I have laundry also going, and I have to go down there anyway, it's like I'm thinking, oh, what can I bring down there? So I have a couple of boxes of tag sale stuff going down there, and as soon as I hear the washer end, I'll go bring that down to switch stuff into the dryer. In the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my juice and empty off my printer so I could put the new one on, or the replacement. It's the exact same printer, it's just not broken. Sneak a peek, I just did a video of some Filofax upcycling and some craft tool usage, like this Jenny Bolin punch, so I'll include a link to that video below. So I have to run out, check the girls one more time. The sun will be going down shortly. I want to make sure they have water and there's no more eggies. I still haven't put anything in the oven. I haven't mixed the batter for the banana bread. I am going to do that, but it looks like I might be doing that after work. Some technical things that needed to be resolved for work, so that's kind of what took my time, and I just totally whipped up this video in a matter of a few minutes. So, yeah. Pockets from diskette holders. Easy peasy, upcycled easy. Alrighty, so yeah, I better get my tojas in gear. Oh, and I totally forgot about the stuff in the wash. I've got to go put that in the dryer and bring more stuff downstairs to the basement. Yeah, see, this is what happens. I get derailed and then I forget what I was doing. That's why I need a little checklist like I have on my desk right there. So to keep me on track. Banana bread. Excuse me. Alright, it's going in the oven, 350 Fahrenheit. It's preheated. It's going in for about an hour until a toothpick comes out clean. What is in here is, in this order, half a cup of melted butter, unsalted, 1 cup of white granulated sugar, mixed together. Then you add a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 eggs, room temperature preferably. Then to that you mix the dry ingredients, which is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt. Mix that together and then incorporate everything together, the wet and the dry. Then you slice 2 bananas, not mash, slice 2 ripe bananas, not that they're squishy, but perfectly ripe, like, you know, when the skin gets too brown to eat raw or directly from the skin. Slice 2 bananas. I sliced them pretty thinly. I had a cup of chopped pecans because I didn't have any walnuts, and actually I think I prefer pecans. And then you combine the bananas, half a cup of sour cream, and the nuts with the mixture already in the bowl. And it mixes beautifully. It's this luscious looking batter. And it's in a 9x5. Yeah, 9x5 pan. It's going in the oven now. And I just realized I forgot to butter the dish. Hoping there's enough butter in the batter to prevent it from sticking. So we'll see. Butter the dish or spray it. I should have done that. I got distracted with the dogs and Totally forgot to do that. So I'm gonna pop that in the oven, go hook up my printer. It's like a never-ending day today. There's a lot of stuff going on. And then do dishes. So I have an hour to get that all done while this bakes. And I think if Paulie wants oatmeal, I'm going to give him oatmeal. But I might have a slice of this with some tea for dinner. That might be it. Moses, do you have to go potty again? Okay, I gotta go. And the bread is done. It's a little moist. So I might put it back in the oven, just let it with the oven door open and turned off. That's it for me for today. Thank you for joining me for an uber long day. I had a lot of stuff that I got done. I'm gonna go do dishes and then wait for hubby to come home, and he'll have oatmeal and I'll have tea and banana bread. We'll see y'all tomorrow.